The reasons we build up certain productions are mostly either to build up a production chain, to be self-sufficient, or to process goods to sell the products for profit. Because every game can have a different economy, and the economy might change over the course of the game, I tried to find wares we can produce that seem to be overall reliable, and which can potentially generate high profits. To find out the potential candidates, it is beneficial to know how much profit each different production module in the game can theoretically generate per hour. So I compared the possible hourly profits of all the different production modules. Because market prices are fluctuating all the time, I compared how much profit we can make from different productions when we buy or input materials at a low, average or high price, as well as when we sell the produced goods at a high, average or low price. Because different production modules cost differently, it appears that several cheaper modules that cost in sum as much as an expensive production module that generates a high hourly value gain can be outperformed by the many cheaper ones. Therefore, I compared how much value each production module can generate hourly relative to the building price. Further, I had a look at how long it takes for each production module to bring back the money for its initial building cost. How well different production modules can perform I mostly checked with the station calculator, by sliding up and down the input and output cost sliders. The best possible profit, as well as the average and worst case profit, I wrote down in a table to get an overview of all the data at once for easier processing and comparison. When we start off with our production, we probably start with refineries. Refineries that produce antimatter cells and silicon wafers can generate huge profits per hour. But we must be extremely careful to not flood the market with their products. Because already when we produce and sell them at an average price, refineries start to devalue the input materials. If we still generate money, it is more likely from our energy cell production and mining chips. Energy cell productions are likely the most stable income source from early to late in the game. Because every production module, except the energy cell production itself, needs them to run. They have zero input costs, and we only have to buy materials to build them initially. After that, energy cell productions are literally money printers that generate income throughout the rest of the game in case they don't get destroyed. Further, they produce the highest hourly income on average, besides the Terran Computronic substrates. Computronic substrate productions are clearly ahead of all others. They can generate by far the most profits per hour at average input and output prices, as well as when we could make the best deal for the input and output wares. In general, the Terran economy seems to be very profitable, because both stimulant and silicon carbide productions can generate good incomes too. If we can sell field coils, antimatter converters and claytronics at good prices later on, these wares look very promising for now too. Other intermediate goods and parts for shipbuilding don't look very profitable at the start of the game, and are more something for after we have established a stable income. Besides energy cell productions, medical supply productions are almost another safe investment, because it is extremely hard to make losses with them. At average production cost and sale price, they are one of the most profitable goods to produce. And even when we buy the input materials at the worst possible price and sell the medical supplies at the worst possible price, we barely make a loss. Which means in a real scenario, it is extremely hard to make no profit with medical supplies. If we now take the building price for each production into account by dividing the potential hourly profits by each respective material cost, it becomes more clear that energy cell productions are extremely good, together with medical supplies and average, and overall investing in the Terran economy is extremely solid. Overall, every production that processes basic resources has a relative low investment cost for the profit it generates, as well as investment return rates of only a few hours, if we don't oversaturate the market to keep the prices high. When we compare the building prices of the Terran energy cell production with the other one, as well as their hourly outputs, we see that at 100% sunlight, the Terran energy cell production produces around 3.5 fewer energy cells. which is around the same factor as the Terran energy cell production costing less to build than its Commonwealth counterpart. Therefore, it is mostly recommended to go for the Terran production, because, first, the blueprint is way cheaper, and if the sunlight intensity exceeds 100%, the Terran production generates more income. Building some Terran energy cell productions in safe systems with intensive sunlight directly at the start can help with passive income, as long as the NPC factions are buying from it. While we previously considered field coils, antimatter converters, and electronics, we now see that investment cost in these productions is extremely high. Further, when we look at the time they need to break even, with 23 hours at the best case for electronics, it becomes clear that these productions shouldn't be built just to generate profits, and are more something for the time after we are satisfied with our income, or the market is too saturated with our money-making goods. As a conclusion, I personally would always start with the energy cell productions, into medical supplies or build up a Terran economy. Even so, refineries can generate high profits. I'm more restrained with them, because if I overproduce refined goods, I devalue my mined resources and I can better sell them to other factions at a low price. So I would keep a good balance between what I actually need for myself and what I should sell to NPC factions. Rushing into productions for intermediate products and ship parts, I would be careful with, since they need a long time until they bring back the initial investment cost. And therefore, it seems reasonable to first exhaust the first mentioned profit opportunities. So far, I didn't talk about food productions, because they are like medical supplies. On average, they promise a stable income, and I would say that their profitability is between intermediate products and medical supplies. I hope I could give you a sense of which productions are more profitable than others, and help with your decision-making process. Feel free to discuss my conclusions, since it is very hard for me to say which production is preferable over the other because of different market situations, which can easily change. So far, this was it from my side. Until next time.